Okay, I think we're here.
Hello.
Hello,
Hey.
everyone. Episode 24, Pixel Sprites and Nonsense. We're back. With me here today is the Metzman
Hello. Is the
and
Metzman?
Vash.
Heyo.
So, how's everybody doing?
Doing well. Of course, I have vacation, so I'm chilling a lot. Playing a
Nice.
little bit more games than usual, of course.
Mhm.
And
Looking forward.
having a good time. So
Looking forward to the What Did We Do Last Week segment. We're going to talk about those games. And
a bit.
Vash, how have you been, man?
I'm doing okay.
Good stuff. Okay. So, it's a very slow news week. Very, very slow. So our main topic today will be trailers that left us disappointed in the end. So the trailer got us hyped. We were looking forward to those games, and when those games finally appeared on our shelves and we put them in our consoles or played them on our PC, we got a little bit disappointed. So we all made a list, and we're going to talk about them. So that's going to be our main topic for today. Without further ado, let's roll the intro and let's get into it. Now, if only I knew where my intro button is. Oh, there it is.
Musica.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's see. Is all the audio here? Is everybody's audio here? I think my audio's okay. I kind of screwed up. We didn't do a check. I think everything's fine. Let's. Can you say something, please?
hello, test 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, your audio from your guys is awesome. It's absolutely fine. Okay, so without further ado, let's start with Vash this time. So Vash, what did you play and do last week?
Well, I've mostly been focused on therapy. So I didn't play a lot. I did watch some shows and stuff. So, but
What shows did you watch? We can talk about shows.
Oh,
it's fine.
Well, I'm a big fan of the new Star Trek, the new one.
Strange New Worlds?
Strange New Worlds, that was it. Yeah, I was thinking about that. And I saw the latest episode today, and I really loved it. This one was really good. Every week is really good, to be honest. It's season 2. It's very good right now.
So they release it on a weekly basis? It's not like just drop everything? Okay.
Nope. Yeah.
Now that we're talking about shows and Star Trek, I've been watching Lower Deck.
It's
so
fun.
I'm going through the first season. I think I watched like 8 episodes yesterday. I didn't feel like gaming. So that's what I did yesterday. I watched like 8 episodes. I'm having fun with it, and I know that they're doing at least a cameo episode on Strange New World.
It's a full-on crossover.
Okay, so it's not just a cameo. It's like okay.
No.
So the voice actors, because
one of the episodes. Yeah.
So Lower Deck is actually an animated show, very much akin to Rick and Morty, but it's comedy. Actually the voice actors doing reprising their roles in live action on Strange New Worlds. So that's kind of cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Really fun.
They look really good. Yeah.
Okay.
And another show that I'm watching is Warrior, which is it's on HBO. And it's based on the stories of Bruce Lee.
You told me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. There's a lot of good combat. Andrew Koji, the lead actor, is just really damn good. So it's set in an age of the Chinese Exclusion Act around that time in America. So they're in San Francisco, in Chinatown. It has to do with all the tongs, the mafia, and that sort of stuff. So lots of racism involved, but a very good look on how that was.
Cool.
So yeah.
Okay. And what did you do game wise?
Well, I finally got Ghost Trick in today.
Nice.
It took a week longer, but it has to come from Asia, so that's not really surprising.
Yeah, because they didn't do a physical here, right?
No, not a European version, not an American version, just an Asian version. Luckily, it even has German and other subtitles. So other European languages. So that's pretty cool. I'm playing it in English, of course, and it's good that current consoles are, you know, region free. So there's no region lock, and that's
Yeah.
just great. So otherwise, I couldn't get this game for the Switch. I could get it, but digitally.
Yeah,
So,
you wouldn't be able to get a physical
yeah,
version.
yeah. So, but it's out on all consoles right now. So that's really cool. I do have the original on
Which was
Nintendo
a
DS.
DS game, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and but it also works on the Switch really well. So I love that.
So is it
And
just did they change it that you're using Joy-Cons now instead of a stylus because it was a very
yeah,
touch-heavy game?
mm-hmm, yeah. So
So
you just use the standard controls.
yeah,
So
so
there's
the
no touch
detached
screen.
Joy-Cons probably,
No, no.
like
You
like
just
a
use
regular controller.
you just use like a regular controller.
So
They had to because
just the
of
analog sticks.
yeah, and of course the buttons.
Okay. Do you have the ability
So
to use the point mechanics, or is it literally just the analog
no,
sticks?
I haven't found it yet. So I don't think it is present.
Okay, that to me that would have been added value for the Switch version,
Mm-hmm.
and it
I
would
can
have
I can
kind of
check though.
feel more.
Yeah, no, I get that. I haven't played the PC demo either, but I figured that they might use mouse controls,
Yeah.
but
It's not one
I'm
of
not
those
sure.
Konami type games, right? That they just support controllers on PC.
Oh
I'm checking the
no.
controls right now.
So
Let me see. No, it just starts up a video or a manual. So
okay.
no, there's no no. You just use the directional sticks,
Okay, well, if it
and
works, it
Interesting.
works.
it works really well. Yeah. So yeah, but it's a fun game. It looks really well updated. They also rearranged the music, so it sounds a little more oomph because the
Hmm.
Nintendo DS didn't have a lot of oomph.
No,
True.
So yeah, it's really good so far. It's definitely one of the best puzzle games still out there. Yeah, it's if you can get it on Steam or on PlayStation or on Xbox or on Switch, get it because it's really good.
Mm.
Yeah, it's such a good story with a fun twist,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's a great experience. And I hope there's really going to be another one after this one because I hope this really sells.
Yeah, that they're you hope that they're like peaking, like testing interest for the
yeah, that there's
franchise,
a
basically.
Yeah,
resurgence on the franchise, and it's not
yeah,
just a singular title. That would
mm-hmm.
be nice. Although some games, that's a whole different podcast idea. But
Mm-hmm.
some games don't require sequels and are fine, as a one-off.
True.
But that's
That is true.
I think
That
that's a
is
main
true.
topic for another day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I can definitely recommend it. I've always been recommending the game on the Nintendo DS when it came out. Um, Not a lot of people picked it up though. It's very much a cult classic in that regard. Also because it wasn't really available everywhere.
Yeah.
Who published it?
So, Capcom.
I was right. Okay, I thought it was Capcom.
Yeah, it's a Capcom game.
Of course, it's Capcom.
Yeah.
Just doing
Yeah,
so well.
they've been slaying it lately. Capcom's been
Oh
doing a
yeah,
really great job in bringing
really
back
good.
their
Yeah.
franchises.
Yeah.
Okay, so you played Ghost Trick.
Yeah.
There's a demo out. You can play the demo if you're
Mhm.
into this kind of game, and you can check out the demo if you like it. Buy it, support
Yep.
the game, and hopefully we'll see more Ghost Tricks.
Yeah.
In the future.
And well, another game that I've been playing is it came in a humble choice actually for this month, which is the Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition.
Okay, so it's a special edition, I guess.
Well, it's an updated version.
Okay.
They updated a lot of the graphics, but they made a mistake,
Oh.
and it took them a bit until June because it came out in March. But in June, they finally updated the game, and it works okay now.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
It
It
works
didn't
just
work.
okay.
Yeah, no, it works good. It works fine now. But like I said, they
Okay.
updated the graphics a lot, but they really didn't do any quality assurance.
Okay.
So it took them a couple of months to actually repair that damage. It got a lot of bad reviews because of it.
Yeah.
But the game itself, I already played it through Game Pass when it first came out, the original game. But I wanted to start this one on Steam because I got it through the Humble Choice, of course. It was on my wish list for a while. I was waiting for it to, be updated and have and work a lot better, which it does right now. And what I like about this game is that everything's just so weird. But it also, the Space Force Edition also has all the expansions, the 2 expansions that came out for it, which are really fun. So yeah, it's a fun game. There's a lot of humor in there, a lot of anti-corporate talk, of course. The colonies that you're in are the colony that you're in is controlled by one major corporation or several corporations that have decided to buy the entire area of space. And your character wakes up in a world after a long journey from Earth.
Yeah.
But the journey was cut short, so you've been in space for over 70 years in hibernation. So yeah, you come back to a world or a bizarre, over the top, corporate, chaos. Like different corporations that have the massive power. There's one board and they want to, take you out, and the person that revived you, and everybody's forgotten about the colony ship that was coming, where you were on.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's a slow kind of a mechanic like in Fallout.
Like FATS, right?
Yeah, like FATS. Yeah, where you can slow down time and do extra damage at some points, just like FATS. And yeah, it's fun. It's a fun first-person game. It's short. It's not that long like Fallout.
Is it still considered short with the included DLC, or is it?
Well,
like
yeah, the first
20-hour
game
game
was yeah, there's more stuff to do, of course, but when I first played it, I found it to be a bit too short in my case. I really enjoyed it, but I felt like, okay, this is it. So I think with the added expansion, I think there's a lot more fun to be had with the game. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I really enjoyed it.
So interesting that Obsidian made this, because it does really remind you of like a Fallout in space. And now, of course, with Starfield coming, but I like that they just made a little like smaller scale title, and just putting all their effort into the storytelling and the wackiness of it, which I really like.
And there's some great characters in there. One of my favorite in the first game was Parvati. She's a wonderful engineer, and yeah, she's just a lot of fun. And her story is very wholesome and touching. So yeah. So there's some, like I said, there's some weird masks in there that you can wear.
Okay.
And like everything you see, you can basically wear. So yeah, that gives off there's plenty of different sorts of gameplay. You can sneak around. I mean, I'm terrible at sneaking, so I just go in guns blazing most of the time. Also, lots of dialogue that you can use to persuade people or intimidate, of course, because that's that kind of game. But I do like the tightness of it. It's all very tight. It's not very too open world.
It feels very solid from what I've seen. Like it's like Fallout, but less cardboard box buggy, sort of.
Oh yeah,
like they tightened the screws on the engine, and it just made it feel very like smooth.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Yeah. Also, I would consider this quite a long game. To complete this one and get all the achievements, which are mostly story based, it's 35 to 40 hours.
Yeah.
So it's quite beefy.
It's still beefy, but like I said, the original game without the expansion was a bit shorter. Yeah. And I didn't do everything in the game, of course, because there's so many choices you can make at some points. So
yeah, replay value is there then.
I'll pick up the Humble Bundle later this month. Usually I don't pick it up in the first week because
No, I know. I did
I
though because I
basically
really
will
wanted to
wait
play this
until they
one.
roll over.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that with this one as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll
Yeah.
check it out. I
And of
wonder
course
if it
there's
runs on Steam Deck. That would be fun.
yeah. And of course
Yeah.
there's a sequel still in the works. So
Yeah, there's a sequel in the works, which is surprising still, since this game was in development when Microsoft bought the studio,
okay.
and Private Division, which is part of 2K, is publishing the game, and I'm surprised that they're actually moving forward with a second game, because they're now part of Microsoft Obsidian.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and they're
is 2K still? No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if 2K is also publishing the second game, or if it's Microsoft now.
No, they're still publishing Outer Worlds 2. Let me see. I think. No, Outer Worlds 2 is fully with Xbox Game Studios. Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be published
they
under
did,
the Xbox Game Studios.
Obsidian did retain the rights. Normally, publisher would get the rights for that game franchise, but no. So,
so how does this work with them also making Avowed right now?
They have multiple teams.
Oh, okay, they have multiple teams.
So
All right, that's what I was
Obsidian
wondering.
is pretty big.
Oh, okay.
Did they also release Penitence a few like last year? So
yeah.
I think they have like 2 or 3 teams that are rotating.
Oh, I didn't know they were that big. Interesting.
Oh yeah. It's confirmed that Microsoft is publishing all the future Outer Worlds games. So yeah, they're good games, definitely.
Okay.
At least the original game is good. I haven't played the second one, of course, because it's not even out yet. We know nothing. But I really love the story of the original. So yeah, which is why I'm replaying it now.
I might give it a go.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything else you want to add? Otherwise, we're moving over to Metzman.
No, that's it.
Then we're moving over to Metzman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
talking about series.
Strap in tight.
I've got stuff.
Kidding.
Yeah. Talking about series, and it ties into the first game on my list. I watched The Mandalorian and the
Nice.
latest season.
Awesome.
It's vacation, so I get to catch up on series and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like The Mandalorian. It was a good season. It was very much apparent that they had a bigger budget. There's a lot of spectacle in it. And I just felt that towards the end, it kind of like, it's one of those series where it's fairly slow, and then it suddenly speeds up at the end.
Yeah.
That was my only complaint, that suddenly there is this, the end situation, just suddenly out of nowhere, everything like is suddenly on the same place. And I don't know, it felt a little bit like rushed. I don't know. But overall, I enjoyed it a lot. Of course, it's very cool to know more about the whole Mandalore lore, the Manda lore, and see the planet itself and all that stuff. It's really cool. So yeah, I enjoyed watching that. 8 episodes flew by.
Cool.
And of course, I finished Dark Forces, the FPS, which also is about Dark Troopers. Which of course are featured in The Mandalorian, which only has a little bit in the last season, but it was always funny to me that the first season it was the second season, right? Yeah, the second season was all about the Dark Troopers in the end, and of course in this game you fight Dark Troopers, so I finished it on hard, which was quite hard, like literally hard. Usually I expect like older games where people are still getting used to FPS controls, that the difficulty is usually not as hard as you think it is. But in this game, it definitely ramps up a lot. I noticed that. But it is also not all levels are as hard. Like, for example, this level, although you can see there's a lot of enemies here and some Dark Troopers, that it's easy to fight in because of the big open spaces. It gets a little more difficult if you're fighting in tight spaces and you have to keep moving around and stuff. But yeah, going through the last levels always is really cool. There's like the the level before the last level, how do you name? I don't know how to say that in English, but it's
Penultimate.
let's see if I gotta go back a little bit.
It was the penultimate level.
No, there's like the of course there's the final mission, and the mission before that is kind of like a sort of a Star Wars fan letter. There's some very heroic music playing, and it's like a very like a little nod to all the Star Wars movies that had like shooting segments in it. So you can see like the interior from the
Death Star?
what's it called? No, not the Death Star. The very first scene of Star Wars, where they board the ship.
Oh, right.
The
The
what do you call
Korean
it?
cruiser?
Yeah, the Korean cruiser, right?
Right.
The interior, all the white stuff. They put that in here, and then there's like there's hangars with TIE fighters flying in, which is really cool because they're actual 3D models. You didn't see that a lot in the Doom clone era.
No.
Yeah, the big hangars. There's even like little sections that are reminiscent of the scene where Han Solo runs around the corner and then he finds all the stormtroopers there and he has to run back. That's in there. It's very funny to find all these subtle little like nods to the original Star Wars movies. But yeah, it's really fun, and it's just a fun level. And then of course that's like an in between, and then you get to a shuttle to the last level, which is the Arc Hammer, which is basically the ship that manufactures the Dark Troopers itself.
Right.
And of course you have to blow it up because it's Star Wars. So, and that last level is really cool because it's a really long level, and of course it feels a little bit like a Death Star kind of thing, where there's a lot of endless depths with those beautiful lit walls with the vertical textures and stuff. And there's like little things like this mechanical arm, which is also a 3D model. That's only in this level. There's a lot of like unique things that LucasArts does that a lot, where they actually they don't like plaster a level full of the same things. They actually construct and add things that are needed for the level, which makes it feel a little bit more unique. And
it's not like they copy paste assets all over the place.
Exactly. Right. So it's like all the missions in this game kind of feel unique that way. So that it's really cool. Like here you put up a bridge and then you go like on all the high levels and you have to like jump very small edges and stuff. And it kind of gives you this like this stuff here, and it's like switches on the walls which you have to get to, and it's like this. You really feel like you're in this big construction factory, basically. And of course, towards the end, you fight more and more Dark Troopers, and in the end, there's of course the big boss battle at the end, which is General Moff. He's called himself. Sorry, no, Moff, Monk. I always confuse them.
Yeah. So you have the Grand Moff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's
Grand Moff
what I
Tarkin.
confused them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool. I kind of want to show because it's kind of a cool reveal how they do that. Let's see if I can find it. Oh wait, that's the end. Let's see. Is it here? Just before. Yeah. So this is pretty cool. Where in Doom games you don't really get like any dialogue in like in an FPS like this. It kind of feels like if a boss battle happens like in Doom, you just enter the level and there it is, the boss. Go battle it, right?
Yeah.
In this game, they actually like add some dialogue. So what happens here is that you get like kind of like tricked into like an area. Let's see, it happens very soon. But of course, I'm still going around finding supplies to fight the boss because I already know that I'm gonna fight him. I'm trying to show it off, but it's really hard, I guess. Never mind. I'm screwing up. Well, there he is. Never mind. I just want to say he just what they did is they have this big reveal where he talks down to you basically saying like oh, I wish my opponent was a little bit more impressive or something. Says something like that, like a speech. He has a speech, and then he
Of
like
course,
this
the bad
big
guy's a speech.
yeah, and then this big gate thing opens and he appears from that, and then you battle him, of course, and he's really wasn't that difficult as I remembered, because I know it's also on hard, so I thought it was difficult, but he was all right. And then there's this last one last guard there, guarding the shuttle, which you use to escape. And the thing explodes and stuff, and then you win. Yay! So yeah, I got all the missions on hard. Yay! So that's another little achievement for me personally.
Nice.
Yay.
Yeah, and that was Dark Forces. And then also, what I finished is Doom 64, which I talked about, of course, many episodes because it's one of the boomer shooters that I play in between. And yeah, also a game that kind of fluctuates in difficulty, and then the end boss is super hard. But I managed to get him. And yeah, it's I still have some. There's like this is of course the remaster done by Night Dive Studios.
Yeah.
So they also added like the some cut content, like an extra episode of levels, which I still have to play. But I finished the main story thing. So
Right.
yeah, it's fun. It's a Doom game. Very unique color palette and cool level design. So
Nice.
well, yeah, talk that to death. Then another thing that I play in between now is a game called Q Remastered. I pulled up the Switch trailer for it, but I play it on Steam.
Okay.
And this is a physics-based puzzle game where you draw the physics. So you get it's really funny. I haven't seen most of the levels that you see here though. But for example, they ask you to move the purple ball and let the purple ball touch the left wall. That's like a basic objective.
Yeah.
Right.
And then there's an obstacle, and you have to you draw stuff that have like weights to it, and you have to make the objective happen basically. And it's really funny. It's you kind of have to think out of the box. I use a lot of like seesaw stuff. So you make a little bump and you draw a line. So you make a plank and you drop a ball on it. So you get a little a lever action going and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's a funny thing I play in between.
Yeah, I know that it also came out on Nintendo 3DS.
3DS even.
Yeah.
Wow, it's that old.
Yeah, it came out in 2015. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's called Q Remastered, right?
Yeah. Which is now on, I think it's on Android, iOS, Xbox One, or at least that may be the original game. That was probably the original game. So, but now it's out on multiple platforms. Cool.
Yeah, so I never heard about it, but it's just it's a very nice, chill game to play. Yeah. And of course, sometimes you just think, how the hell do you do this? Sometimes there's just things that, and then you draw some things and you try some things, and then suddenly you get it. Like, oh, I have to do this. Right. And it's very hard to not like look up hints or anything. But I still to this day I have still done it all myself because that's what I want to do with it. Sometimes just drawing random crap on the screen will also get you a victory. It's one of those games where sometimes the physics will cause things to happen, and then you succeed in the end anyway.
Nice.
And then I started because I was playing the Mario games, and I also wanted to use this time in my vacation to play some classic Zelda games. So I started playing the Wind Waker HD. Which is great, of course.
It's fantastic.
The only like minor complaint for me personally I had is that I did have to get used to 30 FPS. Like I noticed immediately because there's not really a motion blur or anything in it. So 30 FPS kind of feels like a little bit stroby, if you know what I mean. So if there's like a light thing and there's a dark thing moving in front of it, you can like see it like you can actually see the frames basically. So yeah, I kind of had to like get used to it, sort of. But if you play a few hours, you kind of get into it, and then it's not that big of a problem. But yeah, the game itself, of course, is great. It's one of those games where you kind of remember the beginning the most, which is the start on Outset Island, of course, where you meet the pirates, and then you go on your big quest to save your sister. Yeah, it goes from there. And then, of course, the Nintendo charm is still there. The puzzles are really great. The dungeons are really great. Yeah, I had to like relearn all the things because it's been so long since I played this. Which is also a very good thing, because then everything becomes a little bit more fresh, and discovering things, exploring becomes a lot more rewarding if you don't remember everything.
Yeah.
So all the little islands that are scattered throughout the entire sea map, you always want to see, okay, what's over there, and is there something I can do here with all the gadgets and stuff that I have currently? So it's still like all these things are still a mystery to me. Like,
Right.
what do I do with that head over there? And then the little Navi kind of thing tells you, you cannot do anything with this yet. And they're like, oh, god damn it. So you have to explore a little bit more.
Yep.
So I played a few sessions of this, and the last thing I did was get the Master Sword. It's like a
Nice.
big trial in the big tower. And then at the end you get the Master Sword. And that's where I kind of stopped. Of course, the big reveal that Hyrule is basically under the water, which is really cool. And there's like sort of like this time stop effect to everything, which is really cool. That's where I stopped. And I think because I never finished this game, I think I actually didn't get very much further than this originally. I think I remember being lost a little bit, and then when I played the original, and I didn't. I think I got stuck at the trial for the Master Sword, or something for a very long time. And then when I got the Master Sword, I think I got sidetracked by other games or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it happens.
So yeah, I got back to it now, and of course I'm gonna get on with it and try to finish it, which is gonna be fun. But yeah, I love it. Great game. I'll be continuing playing that as well.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's really good. I'm glad I'm not watching your stream for this. Now I've literally, I know speedrun tricks for this game. I played some randomizers for this game, and Marco usually finishes this game at least once or twice a year.
Okay.
So yeah, I can dream this game.
You can dream this game. Okay.
So on one hand, it's interesting to watch your streams, because you're gonna have a completely different perspective from me. But I'm also gonna probably pull my hair out at certain puzzles that you're not figuring it out.
You bet your ass.
So yeah,
like it was very funny because there were some people lurking a few times, and I was kind of like stuck in a position, and I was constantly looking at chat. Don't you freaking spoil it. And then it turned out to be something very simple, right? So the solution to whatever I was stuck at, it was just a very simple solution for it. And I was like, oh God, I wish no one saw that. I hope no one saw that.
That happened to me when I streamed Zelda, that people started, giving away the answers.
Yeah.
And I wasn't happy about that.
No.
Yeah.
So, backseat gaming. Yay.
It's definitely a thing where the eureka moments are very fun.
Yeah.
Especially with these dungeon puzzles and stuff. It's I hate rats, by the way. God damn it. They steal your stuff.
They do.
Those lasers are very nasty too. Yeah. But yeah, fun game. I love the art style. The remaster itself is very nicely done. I love the lighting and they have a little bit of bloom lighting as well. Some little effects. And of course the resolution is upped significantly, so it looks really sharp. Great remaster, great game. I'm enjoying it a lot, so I'll be continuing playing that.
Good stuff.
And I think that's it for what I've been playing currently.
Nice. Then I guess it's my turn.
Yep.
So I've been playing a few games. My I had some physical therapy, and obviously didn't work, but my hand and my arm is feeling a lot better, so I've been able to play some stuff again. So because of the kids, I don't get to play any of the games I really want to play. So I started playing Need for Speed Unbound. Obviously, not really paying attention to the story because some of that stuff might not be kid appropriate. But the racing itself kind of is. They enjoy the little car chases you have here, and the stylized stuff is in there as well. It's a fun game. Just mindless fun. Just do some races, have some cup chases. It's created by Criterion, so it's very much like Burnout, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same damage models, but it does have that same arcadey feel to it. So it doesn't feel, because usually I play games like Gran Turismo or play Forza, which has a more simulation kind of feel. Obviously, Gran Turismo a little bit more than Forza, but this is a very arcadey racer, and I enjoyed it. I enjoy it for what it is. It also kind of reminds me of Blur, but they need to add some power-ups to make that work. But just all in all, it's pretty fun. I've been playing it for the last couple of days, and I think I'm only like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours in. I just finished the prologue where basically you drive in a good car and then your shit gets stolen by your best friend. Like literally your entire garage gets emptied out. And then she steals and then she steals your car. And so you have to get a new car, and then you build it back up, and she's obviously either the big bad or something like that. It's very basic, very boring type story, but it is what it is. The gameplay is definitely fun. So it's currently on Game Pass. Check it out. I know I usually give Vash a little bit of flack for talking about Game Pass, but yeah, just check it out. Another game that I'm playing on my Steam Deck right now, which I'm trying to make the kids not look at because I am playing this downstairs. It's Warhammer 40k Space Marine, and it's just dumb fun. Again, the story is stupid. It makes it's Warhammer, so the orcs are invading, and you're trying to stop it, and you're basically a one-man army. Just killing a bunch of orcs, and it runs at 60 frames. There's absolutely no slowdown, and you just wail in on orcs. You shoot them, you tear them to pieces, and you're just going from objective to objective, but finding some collectibles here and there. Just make sure you check every corner and go through it that way. It runs like a charm. It's a lot of fun to play. It works well, and it's just it's mindless slaughter. It's literally mindless slaughter. It kind of reminds me of Dynasty Warriors or Hyrule Warriors, the warrior like games, but with less of a, because those warrior type games, they usually have like a map mechanic that you have to take over certain strongholds. That's not this. You just have to go through the level. But combat wise, it kind of feels linear. The same way. Yeah, it's definitely quite linear. Basically, every time you can go into a different direction, it's just there because there's a collectible. That's it. Yeah. Other than that, it's just go in the same direction. Yeah. But it's a lot of fun. At some point, you get a jump pack, and you can jump really high, and you can smash down, and all the enemies that you actually hit get stunned, and then you can perform finisher moves, which are very gory and fun.
They're fun.
So
and you're
very
just a walking tank.
Yeah, but basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So also when you do your do your finishers, you actually get your health back. So that's how you can manage your health. You have a shield that regenerates over time. So when you die, you basically just screw it up. But you're a one-man army. There are some NPCs that are following you along, but I don't have a feeling they kill anything because I purposefully didn't do anything for like a good 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and nothing died. Yeah, there were just a bunch of goblins in front of you, so I think they're just there to make you feel like you're part of a squad, but they're not doing jack.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So that was kind of fun. Also, I've been looking at Diablo again. So I decided that maybe it was my fault that I didn't like Diablo, because that's what I talked about last week. It's kind of weird that I didn't like it, because a lot of people are enjoying the game, especially build-wise, and there are a lot of people playing solo. So what I did is I reevaluated my build. I came to the conclusion that I'm an idiot because I completely misbuilt my character. I didn't realize how to upgrade my skills, so I upgraded them once instead of twice. So I made them slightly stronger, but I didn't really spec them correctly. So by grabbing a build off the internet and then learning how that actually works, I kind of understand how that works better now, and I don't feel as underpowered as I did before. So it's kind of working now. And I'm actually having some fun with the game. I think it's the game I played the most this week. So I'm up to level 44 now. So 50 is basically the where the normal levels stop, and from that point onwards, you're starting to unlock a Paragon board, and you can diversify more. I'm just having fun with it. There's something really weird did happen though. Apparently, certain dungeons are built into different segments. So you have like the initial segment that you go through, and once you progress enough, you go into a different segment. You actually get on your screen, you get like at first you're in the bog, and after that you're in the dunes. I'm just saying like it's something different. But Butcher doesn't like that. So what happened, and this is actually my gameplay, I recorded it really quickly. So actually also apparently YouTube didn't update it kind of looks like crap because YouTube's not done making it I think even 4K.
1080p.
But what happened is I was standing here in the Queen's Den, and the Butcher couldn't get into the Queen's Den. So I was literally standing at the edge of the infested tunnels and the Queen's Den, and the Butcher just wouldn't attack me. So I could attack him, and I could wail on him for a good 20. As long as I was standing in that exact spot, he wouldn't aggro. He would just be there. So basically what I did was I just killed him. Legendary dropped the legendary piece of chest armor.
Yeah.
And
you really cheesed them, dude.
And that's how I cheesed him. I killed the Butcher. I'm not even fully leveled. I wasn't fully spec'd. But that's how I killed the Butcher.
Nice.
So
that seems like a bug they could fix.
Oh, that's absolutely a bug they should fix. Like I should have either died or I should have had to fight for my life, not literally stand in between two zones and be okay. So
did you like post about it? Did you
not yet? I uploaded it it happened a few days ago, but I didn't. I only uploaded it to YouTube this morning. So so I'm gonna cut it, or actually I think late this afternoon even. So I cut it down. I will cut it down, and I will send them the actual snippet, and I'll post it on. I'll probably turn it into a short for the channel as well. You know, gain some views that way. But it's a weird thing that happened. It made absolutely no sense. So this is just I continued recording after this.
Yeah, and was another thing with the Butcher recently, right?
Yeah, he was huge or something, but I think that's that happens when you get to nightmare to nightmare dungeons, that they get an additional aspect added to them.
Okay, that makes sense.
And one of the aspects made the character look bigger, but it didn't really do anything else.
No, that's true.
So
I know that from other games, indeed, and I think Diablo 3 didn't have that, right? That they were actually bigger.
No, but if you went up in difficulty, they would add more stuff. So it would be a teleporter, the teleporter, Inferno, poison guy.
Yeah,
and here they changed them slightly in appearance as well.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah,
but yeah, the game. I'm having fun with the game again. I might. I finished Act 1. I'm literally done with every quest I could do in Act 1. Moved on to Act 2. I know you can play them out of order, but what's the fun in that? So I'm just going through Act 2 right now, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Nice.
So that's it for Diablo. Then not much else to say. I did buy a game today because I was like, okay, I don't know what to play, and or I really didn't know what else to bring into this segment. Like it's fun to talk about Space Marine for a bit. Unbound was kind of extra, but I have a PSVR 2, and I talked about the PSVR 2 being kind of boring. Like there weren't really any games for it. Basically, the only game I play on it, and I play on it daily, is Beat Saber. let's be fair, you could buy a Quest for $200 and be done and play Beat Saber. You don't need PSVR.
True.
So there's a game on PSVR right now that released, I think, this week, earlier this week. And
Tuesday, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's Synapse.
Yeah.
So we talked about Synapse before. Compared to the video I just showed, this looks really crisp, by the way. But when we talked about it, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's an auto runner. That doesn't look like you're controlling this yourself. And, you know, you on one hand you shoot, and the other one you have like these force powers. Yeah, it's not an auto runner. It's a roguelike.
Nope.
It's a roguelike.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that, but it's absolutely roguelike. So I kind of went blind on it. I heard good things. I was like, okay, it's $30. I'm just gonna pick it up. I need something for my PSVR other than Beat Saber. So I picked it up. I played 2 rounds of it. I didn't have a lot of time. I should have actually worked instead of doing this. So hopefully my coworkers don't listen to this podcast. But I played 2 rounds. It's a lot of fun, but all the movement you do yourself. So it's not an auto runner. You actually, for pretty much like Half-Life, Alex, you basically are in full control here.
Awesome.
Which is really cool.
I was expecting that. I said that at the time. I think it's not going to be an auto runner, but
because it's so, look at this, it's so fast. I know. And it's a roguelike game. So you invade someone's mind, and this is basically their blockage, and they're trying to stop you from reading their minds or something. And you have to go through a couple of levels and basically defeat every enemy. And you can do that by grabbing blocks, and you can do it by actually by grabbing explosive barrels. It's actually grip sensitive, so if you grip the barrel really tight, it actually explodes. But if you only grip it slightly, you can throw it around.
Awesome.
So you have to.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And so every time you die, or every time you kill enemies or finish levels, you gain experience points. And when you die, you actually get a skill tree that you can experiment with, and you can upgrade your character. And your next run, you'll be stronger, or you have your bullets will act in a different way. So that way you can keep making new. You can keep doing new rounds. I think it's procedurally generated because the levels keep changing. It's not like you're running through the same levels, and the enemies are in the same position. Cool. So you're constantly doing something else. So I obviously only did 2 runs so far, but it looked like a really fun game. The story is kind of okay. It's a little weird because you go into this house that you see right now, and basically someone's talking to you like you're an agent, and they capture the general, and you need to invade the general's mind. And then you get like the tutorial round, and after that you get the actual rounds. So it's kind of fun. It works well. I'm playing it in this small room with a slanted roof, but I didn't hit anything yet, so it's pretty good. It works pretty well. Definitely checking out more, and I'll be able to talk more about this game next week. I will probably I think I'm gonna have a few more hours in.
The reception of this game has been pretty good from what I've heard. So
but I think it has kind of a high learning curve, because you can see the guy here is actually moving characters around, but also all the throws are on point. I've had a really hard time hitting enemies.
Right.
Okay.
So I think it's like a pretty big learning curve to get that going.
Yeah.
Right.
But also, of course, this is a marketing trailer. So they
they made it look really cool.
And stuff.
Obviously. But I think there's a learning curve here to get better at this. But it seems like a really fun experience. I've like I said, I only looked at it for a bit, but definitely looking forward to playing some more over the next week or so.
Cool.
So I think that's it for me. So let's move on to the meats of today's
today's main topic.
Okay, but we've seen enough. So
Mm-hmm.
this topic was brought to us and was actually a brainchild of Metzman. So Metz, explain what we're going to do here, if you would.
Was it brainchild of me? I don't remember writing
No,
this one
I
in the
think I
document.
added it at the time
Yeah, probably, yeah.
because of some things you said, Benjiro. I'm not sure if
but
that what. Anyway,
Metz brought it to Discord last week. Though.
yeah, true.
Yeah, it's because it was in the working document.
Yeah, it wasn't a document. True.
Fair enough.
Uh,
Okay,
but yeah, I can
whoever,
explain it.
take it away.
Yeah. So what we're going to discuss today is we're basically talking about disappointment in that you see a very good trailer for a video game, or you see a presentation of a video game, and you go like, "Holy shit, this is the best thing ever! I want to play this game." And then it finally releases, you get it in your hands, and it's not the game that you thought it was. This could be because they presented something in a way that looked really interesting, but turns out to be a little disappointing and doesn't work the way that they showed, or the trailer's completely misrepresenting the game as a whole. Like
Where
there's
things
many
have
reasons.
been cut out, or
there's many reasons how this can happen. Sometimes it's not even that bad. Sometimes it's just
sort of disappointing.
Yeah, sort of disappointing. Like, okay, it's not exactly as I wanted it to, and it's all about expectations, basically.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna take a look at. We all picked our games that we thought had that experience with, and we're gonna discuss them one by one and have some examples of these disappointments.
Oh, Metz, I think you can. It's okay for you to fire off the first one.
Let's fire off the first one. Okay, so this is a very interesting one because my first game is Halo, and this is very interesting because when you follow a game's development that long, it becomes a little bit murky of what the actual game is going to be in the end.
Yeah.
So the trailer we're looking here is their very first announcement, which was at Macworld in 1999, when the game was still going to be a Mac game, which is really funny. It was actually shown off by Joseph Statham himself and presented by the big man for Apple himself.
Steve Jobs?
Steve
Mr.
Jobs.
Yeah.
Yes. So this was a big deal because they wanted to show off their graphics performance on the new Mac, and they had Bungie, which was a relatively small studio back then. They did a few PC games here and there, and of course they had the Marathon series.
Yeah, those were on the Mac alone. Yep.
Yeah. They were. I think they were mostly Mac developers back in the day, right?
Yeah. And it did Myth as well, right?
Yep.
Which is a strategy game. So Halo was their next project. And what we're seeing here is a game that was still very early in development. Yeah. But of course, it was a very hyped trailer. The graphics looked great. All the vehicles you see are all like physics-based, which means they move very natural. And, if the vehicle's skidding, you can see like it actually weight to it. So this was a very impressive trailer. And it also showed a very big open level, big open landscapes, all that sort of stuff. So you kind of like wondered, okay, how is this game going to play? Is this going to be a big open world game, and we're going to ambush aliens and stuff? Yeah. And then in 2000, a year later, they had another trailer, which was this one.
I know the original concept for Halo was going to be an RTS, right?
Yeah. It goes back further, of course. Yeah, you can find some documentaries from Bungie himself actually showing off very early builds. It started off as an RTS first. Yeah. And then it became this, which is basically actually a third-person game. Right. But yeah, this was their next trailer, which you already see like how it visually improved a little. But it was still kind of like this open world feeling to it. Yeah. There was like this big map, and you can see like here's Master Chief, his first appearance, in at least kind of the same suit as he wore in the release version. And then there's all these Marines. We actually didn't know what we're gonna play in the game. I thought the Mesh Thief was just a character when I first saw this. Because then the gameplay here moved on to a little section of gameplay where we follow these Marines going over the planet. There was a team on a Jeep or a Warthog. And there was this, you can see the big landscapes and the big terrain and stuff. And they were going on a mission and they find this outpost and they fight aliens at the outpost and then enter the outpost. So it was all like, it felt like this big open world game kind of. So that's what I had as an impression. And after this, I'm going to let this play because I don't have the other footage. After this, of course, Microsoft acquired Bungie. And then the game went in development further under Xbox. But what we didn't know is that the whole game design kind of changed.
Yeah.
And it didn't really show that much of that in the gameplay trailers that were shown after. So in the back of my mind, the game was still the same kind of game. It was this big open world game where you explore this planet, this Halo ring, and you could go anywhere and stuff. And of course, when the game was released, it was not the case. It was a very linear game with sectioned off levels and sort of like, much more cramped and like a totally different game. It was visually more beautiful than these trailers. So that was one of the things that was positive. But my initial playthrough of Halo was, it felt a little dirty. It felt a little like, I felt a little like empty. It was like, when is this section of the trailer going to be in the game? That was what in my head constantly. So it kind of, I was still having a lot of fun with the game, of course. The multiplayer was, of course, great. And, of course, the game itself wasn't bad at all. But you could see that there were definitely some changes. And there was a lot of, backtracking in the game. Of course, the infamous reused levels where you backtrack through the same environments multiple times. You could clearly see that there was some problems somewhere along the way with this project. Maybe a little too ambitious or...
Well, probably the limitations of the Xbox itself.
And yes, that could also be the case. The engine itself. Of course, with Halo Infinite having an open world and not filling it up with enough content, that's the other side of the coin. So many years later, but that's a different story. But so that was kind of my first game, like Halo, which I've been looking forward so long and been following the development of it, and then finally playing it. It was it felt a little icky. Even though later on it became, of course, one of my, at least one of my high regarded games. I do like the other games in the series better, comparably, but it's you look back on for what it actually is, and not the expectations you had in your head. Then it's like, okay, Halo is still a fun game to play, even with its flaws. So that's my that was my first game.
Okay, cool. Then let's move over to Vash, your first game.
Well, my first game is actually fairly recent, and it has changed so much since it was first launched. But I remember seeing No Man's Sky for the first time during one of the Sony presentations, and it looked interesting and really good. And there was a lot of talk about the procedural stuff, which was really cool. And then when it came out, it was very bare bones. The creatures that were procedurally generated didn't look as good as we thought, because there were some weird abominations. Everything has, in due time, they have really redeemed themselves. But at the time, I was very disappointed.
And I think I had this on my list, by the way, too.
Yeah. And it was just a shame, because I really wanted the concept to be awesome. And, going from world to world and just doing what you want. And that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like the style. It was there was this kind of minimalistic style to it that really appealed to me. I love, I've said this before about Mad Max, for instance. I love the desolation, the openness, just knowing that you're alone. And that really appealed to me. But unfortunately, the game wasn't, it was missing a lot of stuff. Since then, of course, I also know why, by the way. Because the development studio, Hello Games, had a flood at some point, and they lost a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was really out of their control. And
there's a great video on the whole process by internet historian. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's very much, but yeah, it shouldn't have been released back then as it was. But they had a deadline because they had to deal with Sony. It was going to be PlayStation exclusive. I think Sony also helped with the development of the game, but
they should have been candid, and I think that's the biggest problem.
They
should have been honest, like, okay, guys, this is what we envisioned, but it's not there yet. We're going to continue building this, but you're going to get like an early access version, and that's not how they sold this game.
No, and that not just disappointed me, but a lot of people. But I did play it eventually with more stuff in it, and I avoided a couple of updates, and to really get into it more, it's very good right now. Yeah, there's so much stuff added. You can do base building. You can drive a mech now, which is pretty cool. There's so much stuff added, and it's very much. And I don't think they're even done with adding stuff.
Yeah.
So it's going to be even bigger in
they
the
did a
next couple of
VR
years.
version for free.
Oh yeah,
if you owned the game, you got a VR version.
Yep.
I actually tested it as well.
So
it's pretty good.
I hope it's also going to come out for the PlayStation VR 2.
It is.
It is. It's already out for the PlayStation VR.
Either it will, or either it is or it will. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it will be added.
I haven't really caught up on that because I don't have a PlayStation 5 or a PSVR 2, so we'll see. But they really redeemed themselves. But at the time, I was very much disappointed because the concept was really good. And as it turns out, it is really good.
I was a little bit less harsh on the game when it came out, actually.
Right.
I remember just even liking the desolation a lot, like you mentioned. And just, I kind of accepted for what the game had at the time. And of course, there was things missing from those initial trailers. But I remember having a lot of time just... I kind of like, sometimes I love grinding games like this where you want to get to the next place. So you want to get that upgrade, so you just keep going, right? And I actually enjoyed exploring some of the planets, and actually made a video on YouTube just like making a short walk video at night when during like a sunset, which was really fun. Yeah. So I think I was less harsh on the game, but I did definitely see the disappointment and the problems.
Well, my biggest issue is I don't really have a lot of gripes with games if they turn out to be not as great as we were promised.
Yeah.
I'm very forgiving in that sense. I do recognize all the attempts people make. But this was very, because there was no communication, and the game came out and it turned out to be not what we were promised. Because of understandable circumstances, it was still kind of a disappointment. So that's mostly why I chose this one.
Yeah. Especially that first trailer that we are looking at now. That was such a hype builder.
Yeah.
Especially with the lines, every atom, everything procedural.
Every atom procedural.
Yeah. Like what?
Every tree, every leaf.
Yeah.
Procedural. Yeah.
It's like you come with buzzwords like that. It's like, oh my god, what are you doing?
I know that the creator was also kind of compared to Peter Molyneux at some point.
That's because he was upselling his game.
Yeah, very much upselling. Yeah, too much.
But unlike Peter Molyneux, this guy actually made it happen. It took him. It took him another 5 to 10 years, but he made it happen.
Yeah,
and so I consider this more of a redemption story than than the stuff that Peter did, because
true.
he never made a product he was actually talking about. And Sean actually made a product he was talking about back then. He just couldn't do it within the time. And if he would have been honest and candid about that, it would have been a completely different story.
Yeah, 100%. So no, but Sean is good people. So he kept building on this game, and it became so much better than what they even promised the first time. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that they kept going.
It's a good redemption story.
Yeah, very good redemption story. Yeah. So definitely going to be interesting what they're going to do in the future.
Something that's a little bit less redeemable.
That was one of yours.
It's one of mine.
Yep.
It's so back. I used to be a big Blizzard fan. Now I'm okay with Blizzard. I'm not the biggest fan anymore. But when they announced back in 2018 that they would remake Warcraft 3 and they would call it Warcraft Reforged, and they would bring us new cutscenes. They would redo all the animations. Everything would be brought into the modern age. Because let's be honest, Warcraft 3 is old. It doesn't. And on a gameplay standpoint, it holds up, but it definitely doesn't hold up graphically. It doesn't hold up on the voice acting. Polygons. It's old tech.
Yeah.
So they were gonna bring this into the new age, and I was there for it. I really wanted this game to be there. I was actually actively still playing World of Warcraft. I was trying to get Marco into Warcraft 3. I actually installed it on a computer a few weeks prior to them announcing this. Okay, we're just going to wait. She did read the Arthas book, which is basically part of the story. At least it's the human campaign from this game. So she was looking forward to play this, and I was looking forward to revisiting Warcraft of old. And what we basically got in the end is we didn't get anything that was promised. The new cutscenes they didn't do. They didn't re-record any lines, and they basically just decided, okay, we're not gonna spend any money on this Reforged thing that we wanted to bring out. So we're gonna make sure that everybody who wants to play online needs to buy Reforged, because that's what they did.
Yep.
And they didn't do any quality of life changes. Matter of fact, it's actually worse than the original release. And now you can't play or buy the original release anymore, and you're just stuck with this
abomination.
And they never fixed it for such a big company, and with this being their legacy going into a fairly successful, obviously it's kind of waned by now, but a fairly successful MMO, one of the biggest franchises in the world, and you just flounder it. So I bought it, and everybody hated the game. Everybody hated Warcraft 3 Reforged, and at some point you could just return it and you would get your money back, and that's what I did. I got my money back.
It was also more of a remaster than a remake, right?
Yeah, well, they promised a full remake. They basically just upscaled it, and the worst thing is there are better mods out there for the original game than the stuff that Blizzard put out here. It felt like an intern was making this game by himself. Not even with a team of the interns, no, just a singular intern that they were like, okay, you made a mod for this game once, right? Yeah, I think I did as a school project. Okay, we're going to sell that. That's basically how it felt like what they did here.
Yeah, very disappointing.
Very disappointing, awful.
Yeah, reminds me of the GTA trilogy release.
Oh, yeah, those were bad as well. Yeah. The rain was going upwards instead of downwards on GTA. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my first one. I'm not going to show any gameplay because I don't want to show any gameplay.
No.
But yeah, it's
not needed.
It wasn't a great game. So Metzman, you're up next.
Yeah. Okay. So this one, The Thing. The Thing. One of my favorite horror movies of all time. I think might actually be my favorite horror movie of all time.
Very good.
It's very good. And then this trailer came out, it's a video game based on The Thing, but it's a direct sequel to the original movie.
Yeah.
The trailer was excellent. Like, this is one of the better game trailers in terms of how they visualized it, the pacing, and the editing part. And it was very interesting to have a game based on the thing. And it kind of like, because it looked so good, this trailer, you kind of expected the game to be like the movie, where you would never know who to trust.
Yeah.
And you would explore this environment, and you had to survive in it, right?
Yeah.
So
sort of Among Us, but you know.
Yeah, but sort of like of course,
Sort of, yeah.
Among Us was kind of based on the idea, kind of
thing.
yeah. Like
it's kind of the same concept.
Yeah. And then there was also some previews talking about this game, and they implied also that that the game would be fully dynamic, in that every time in the campaign, anyone that's with you could be the thing.
Yeah.
So you would like, I would just go into this game with that knowledge, and I also felt like the game was, I mean, I kind of expected it to be like a big open like space again, I think.
This big base.
Yeah, exactly. Like the outpost, and that's where it was going to take place and everything. So then the game came out, and it was not a bad game. Let me tell you that. It's still a good game. It's still a good adaptation. But the expectations that I had were crushed a little bit.
Right.
First and foremost, they kind of like messed with the rules of the thing, because what the thing does is it hides, right?
Yeah.
It hides an imitation. It waits for a person to be alone with it, and then it takes it over, so it can like expand basically. So what this game did is that there were just roaming enemies. So there would just be thing monsters running around that you had to kill.
Yeah. So Resident Evil style.
It's basically Resident Evil. It's a survival horror game.
Yeah. Now there was definitely, there were humans that would be around, and it was very cool. There was like this squad system where you could order people to do things for you. There was even like a fear system that was kind of cool. So you could give people guns if you trusted them, and they would trust you more because you gave them a gun. That sort of stuff. That was really cool. But there was hinted at that everybody could be the thing at any point. So I was kind of expecting that, but turns out that all the transformations were basically scripted. So every time someone turned into the thing, it would always be the same person.
Right.
So it kind of like ruined the whole immersion factor of do I trust this NPC that is with me? And another thing is that the game was like split up in levels. So it's basically, you have a level, you do your objectives, and at the end, boom, you're in a new level, and you have new objectives. And it felt really like everything was like cut. It felt really like segmented in that way. Like you weren't, disjointed. You weren't like playing through a flow of a story.
No.
It felt like there was a main story overarching story, which is fairly interesting, but it felt really disjointed, and it's just like it kind of messed with that feeling of like going from a complex to another, and I don't know. It felt very gamey, right?
Right.
So the new location with new buildings, and it's definitely an atmospheric game. It definitely has the vibe of the movie. It's definitely worth playing. But it's just it was just compared to the trailer and what they kind of promised, it was not the game that they showed.
No.
So
yeah, that's a shame.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Like I hope they would. I hope they will do a new game like at a certain point. That would be really cool. Maybe even add that multiplayer to have sort of an Among Us style thing game. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I've been also brainstorming a lot about that, to have like a sort of like a multiplayer story game where everybody could be the thing. That would be really cool.
It could be kind of like Dead by Daylight, like asymmetrical multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be cool to have something like God, okay, I'm trying.
Drawing a blank.
Yeah, I'm so bad today. I don't know what it is. It could be like Among Us. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But story driven. So you do real missions together, and you have to watch each other's backs and stuff like that. Would be cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope they come back to the franchise because the thing is a really good setting for a game. But yeah,
cool.
That's it for that
Yeah,
game.
the problem with licensed games is that they always go to die at some point because the license is just too expensive.
Yeah.
But we just had a game that they turned the databases off and made everybody max level just because it would be cheaper to run it to the end of next year.
Which game was that?
Is it Evil Dead? I'm not sure. It's
that's
one of those.
I think it could be one of those. Or was it the with Jason?
It's the Jason one. Yeah.
Yeah. Friday the 13th.
It's Friday the 13th, and those same guys are bringing a game, another licensed game, into the mix in August based on the Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
So they're basically setting themselves up to the exact same problem.
They're going through all the licenses one by one. Oh my god.
But yeah, it's kind of a sad story. I'm afraid that the same thing might happen to The Thing. Because I doubt it's a cheap license. So having a multiplayer game run for multiple years is going to be expensive.
Yeah. Or maybe just, for my part, it could be a co-op game, right?
Yeah.
So it's just not an online multiplayer, but just something you play co-op. And then, you don't tell your friends who's the thing. That you have to keep that secret for yourself.
Right.
Like an imposter game. That would be fun as well.
Yeah.
Like I think you can make some interesting things with that, just with the concept.
There is potential.
But yeah, someone has to do that, right? It's still an investment, and especially with that franchise, of course, which is probably not cheap.
No.
I think James Cameron can run it on his own, right?
I mean, John Carpenter is actually doing a game.
Yeah,
so maybe some shit to poke him about it. Hey,
you
know that movie that you did?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, he might get interested. Okay.
You know who directed the original The Thing?
The Thing from Another World?
The 80s version?
The 80s, John Carpenter.
Yeah, that's John Carpenter. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I don't know who said James Cameron, but
I screwed up the name.
Okay. I mean JC makes sense.
Yeah.
Both are JC.
I got the right connection. I got the right initials, but the wrong. The wrong name.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. I was like, why did you bring up James Cameron?
My bad.
So I was wondering as well. So that's why I asked.
It's because I'm still horrified by the Avatar video game.
Right.
Okay. We're moving on. Vash, your next game.
Really? Already? Okay.
Yeah, after that, it's my turn, man. Okay, fine. Then I'll go before you.
We have multiple.
You guys have more.
You can also steal one of mine. I just
no.
They keep coming to me anyway.
Yeah.
So the next one, little backstory. It's Final Fantasy 13. So I really enjoyed this trailer. I'm a little bit of a weep for this trailer. I even enjoyed the Leona Lewis song that came with this trailer. I'm not gonna play it here because instant, copyright claimed.
Copyright stuff.
So this trailer it's actually 4 minutes. Like it runs the entire song, and then there's a bunch of dialogue that really tries to set up the story. And I've watched this trailer many times. So back in the days when this came out, I was actually working for a company called Gamersland, and so was Vash. And the second this trailer hit, I basically told everybody, okay, I'm doing the review. I'm doing the review for this game. I want to play this game. So I got the review version, I also bought the game because the review versions came into jewel cases. I couldn't have that, not as a collector. So obviously I needed the real version.
Yeah.
So I bought the real version. I bought the collector's edition, and I bought the collector's edition
soundtrack
strategy guide. Strategy guide. That's what I got. So basically I went full. For full Starfield on this thing. Yes, I'm referencing you, Metzman. For full fan. And I was really going to enjoy this game. So I sat down after all these trailers, and I hate the game. I just hate the game, and I still hate it to this day. And I keep trying it at least once a year, maybe once every 2 years. I boot it up again. I own this game on Steam nowadays. I tried it on the Steam Deck. It didn't gel with me. I had it hooked. I still had it hooked up to the PS3, and I tried it on my regular PC. And I think I tried this game like to like this game more than 10 times, and I just don't.
Right.
The characters are terrible. They're bland and they're terrible. They don't have a personality, and the only reason they talk is because they want to move a plot forward that doesn't go anywhere. The game is so linear that it's literally it's a corridor RPG. You just walk in a straight line. You can't go anywhere for the first 15 hours. After that, you get like a zone where you can, expand slightly, and then it's back to corridor gameplay.
Yeah.
The game itself and the way the battle system works, it's kind of boring. It doesn't do anything. You're basically just working towards staggering your opponent, and when your opponent is staggered, you're done. So you just keep switching in and out your characters, so they will actually stagger your opponent. So you actually start doing damage. It looks flashy. The only thing this game is going for it's pretty. For back in the day, it's a very pretty game. It's
one of the best looking games of the time.
It looks
definitely
fantastic, but it doesn't have a soul. It doesn't do anything else for me. So this game, even though I think I tried it 10 times, I decided to just bin it.
Yeah.
Like most of the games we talk about here either have a redemption story or at least have something going for them. And this one, just for me, it doesn't. I know there are people who actually love this game. I know there are essays on YouTube that talk about this game and try to redeem it.
Yeah.
I know it must have done something right because it got 2 sequels that obviously I never played because I couldn't get into the actual 13.
I never picked those up either.
Probably did well in sales, right?
I have 13 too. I bought that one because I still believe.
Yeah,
but I think it's still in seal. I think it's still in seal. I never played it. No, I never bought Lightning Returns.
Okay.
I did buy it in a Steam sale. I have it on Steam. But
okay.
I like I said, I will probably never get to it.
No.
So this is definitely one that I think I enjoyed the trailer, which was 4 minutes, way more than I will ever enjoy this game.
Yeah.
And this one, by now, I just decided that it will never work for me. Also, it's the first one. Well, is it? Yes, it's the first one that actually came to Xbox.
Yeah, that's right.
If you're discounting the MMO, because 11 did come to Xbox. So if you discount the MMO, it's the first mainline, not MMO game that actually left PlayStation.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the weird part is because the trailer that we that you really loved was actually the second trailer.
Yeah.
Because they had an initial trailer in 2006 when they announced the Crystal Project.
That's the one that's running now. Yeah.
Yeah, and that looked very interesting as well. It wasn't as linear.
You can see a linear path literally.
You can literally see.
But they made it more linear even. So it was it's a shame because I did enjoy the game up to a certain point, and then my PlayStation 3 died and I lost my save game and I never booted it up again. But I did really love the game, and I loved it so much that I even got the collector's edition of the soundtrack on CD. So, yeah.
You want to learn something sad? This is the only Final Fantasy game that I have on hard copy.
Really?
Yeah, it's the only one I have a boxed copy of.
Wow.
That's it's because of when the PS3 released. This was one of the big hype games
Yeah.
that
Right.
I bought with it, right?
Mm.
So, but yeah, that's the only Final Fantasy, because I was never really into the Final Fantasy games, but I wanted to have a flashy story game,
Yeah.
and I thought, why not? That's what I thought back then.
Did you play it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I actually kind of liked it, but I didn't get very far into it.
Hmm.
So I never got to the semi-open world stuff.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the farthest I got in this game is about 10 to 12 hours in. And that's every single time. That's kind of when it dies for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's it for me.
right.
Mets, you take the next one. And after that, we're going to rotate Vash back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next up is let's see, where is it? Oh, right. I think it's this one.
Yeah.
Yes, Borderlands. Now this is also one of those things where it was basically expectations of what it actually is.
Yeah.
Because this is the first ever trailer for Borderlands.
Yeah.
And it was also just in the way they presented the game in screenshots. Is that this was Borderlands before it turned into a cel-shaded game. So the game started off as just having a realistic art style, sort of.
Yeah.
But that was not the biggest complaint I had when I first played it. It was more of like how the world and the game, like how the game world was presented.
Right.
Because if you look at this trailer, there's a lot of like big open spaces once again. The big salt flats was one of those things. And I kind of like hoped that there was going to be like a big open world co-op game, and I actually kind of liked how it looked in this old footage here that you see. I think I might have actually preferred the game using this art style, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, because Borderlands is now known to have this the cartoon art style, the cel shaded stuff. But yeah, I was kind of expecting like this big open world cruise around with your friends and shoot things game. And of course, the billion weapons aspects did make it into the final game. The random generation stuff. That was really cool. But I kind of have like this skewered version. And like Halo, it's one of those cases where so much stuff changed during development that in the end, the game was a little different than you expected. And the eventual released game felt a lot more cramped to me. Like the environments weren't like, especially the starting environments. I was always like waiting for the moment where the game would open up, and it was never going to happen because all the areas were designed kind of the same. And I always thought that was like the starting zone or something. So it's one of the things where I kept waiting for that moment where you would get the big salt flats and you go out like in the big like environments and go explore like caves in like a distance, stuff like that. And that never happens. It's like it's more like very like routes basically you could drive into, and there were like little alcoves where mission stuff happened.
Right.
So yeah, it kind of like bummed me out a bit. Like I was expecting something different there. The game itself was still fun to play. The whole I love randomized stuff. Loot, of course, loot is addictive.
Yeah.
So eventually, of course, the game, it was still fun to play. But yeah, it was kind of like it felt a little, it's just like with Halo. It's just felt a little bit more compacted and crammed.
Yeah.
Could have been.
Yeah, the thing is with Borderlands, when this game was announced, I think around the time, not exactly on the same day, but around that time, a couple of months, I think Rage was announced as well.
Oh, right.
And they had to diversify a bit because it looked very much similar to this.
Yeah.
So
I can understand that.
That's why they probably chose for the different art style. And with that different art style, I think the game also became less serious.
Yeah.
and more, going for that weird comedy humor
Oh
thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
over the top.
over the top stuff. Yeah.
Would have the
And I
world
think
been better if it didn't have Claptrap?
mm, I no
I
no.
hate
Claptrap-
Claptrap. I
I
hate
mean,
Claptrap.
he is there to be hated, which is really good.
Mm,
So yeah.
I'm not sure. I think they really tried with the comic relief character, but
Mm-hmm. They tried, but he's
it
there to
didn't
be
work for
hated.
me either.
Yeah, okay. I
Yeah,
mean, like I said, it's a character you love to hate in this
yeah.
case.
But
You,
it's
you know
That's
what's the
yeah,
worst part about Claptrap? You're not
hmm
allowed to shoot him. You're just not
Okay.
allowed.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get
uh, but yeah, just looking back at this footage, like
that. Mm-hmm.
because I was hooked on every piece of media, of
Right.
course, at that time for any new game.
Mhm.
And I just loved the style of this.
Yeah.
Open world games were just they were still growing at the
Mm-hmm.
time, I think, and to have just an FPS in an open world game with randomized guns,
Mm-hmm.
that the whole idea, of course, was really appealing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just a little bit meh about
Yeah.
the level design. I
I
think that
get
was
it.
the big thing.
They
Yeah,
kept the
they
chest
went for
design though.
zones. Yeah.
I think I would have. It would have been interesting to see something like this. It's more dark, more gritty.
Yeah, more Mad Maxy.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
I agree.
on the other side, it was also this was also announced around the time that there was a lot of complaints about, oh, everything looks so brown and gray, and
True.
so
Yeah.
I kind of get why they chose to go a different path, and it worked for them because it did really well.
Yeah.
So we have the bald space marine with the gritty stuff, like lots of games that were similar in that aspect. So I'm glad they kind of changed it up with this.
Yeah,
I
it was
really enjoyed
definitely
all the Borderlands
I
games.
think if
So,
they started off presenting the game with the new art style,
mm-hmm.
it would have been less jarring for me. I think.
Yeah, I get
Um,
that. Yeah,
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 but I
yeah,
also feel for the artists, like because of course
mhm,
when they made the decision to change the art style,
yeah,
like all the components, all the textures
yeah,
had to be like redone completely.
mhm, yeah.
That must have been a massive task,
Yep.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah,
especially all the gun parts for
mm-hmm,
all the different types of weapons.
yeah,
All had to be redone as well. All the
mm-hmm,
models.
yep,
So, but yeah, if just looking at this, see the rock faces up there with the
mm-hmm,
dark lighting, it
yeah,
just felt more tangible.
right,
Guess that's what I liked about it. It
mm-hmm,
felt like you were exploring these dark caves and stuff, and not,
yeah.
yeah, this
I
weird
get that.
cartoon western stuff.
Yeah, I do admit that the with the different art style, with the art style it has now, it looks a bit more flat
Yeah, yeah,
because of it.
that's one of the
So
things.
yeah,
Like, even with
yeah,
the lighting there, it just
mm-hmm,
it had more, yeah, it felt more tangible,
yeah,
more yeah, more 3D
yeah,
basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah,
mm-hmm,
that was it for me on Borderlands.
right,
Of course, the series got a lot better after that, but and they of course
yeah,
kept improving on their art style and stuff. So
mm-hmm, yeah.
yep, that was it.
All right,
Cool. Vash, you're up.
yeah. So I mentioned Fallout earlier, and in this case, it was Fallout 4 because I was really looking forward to that one. I did enjoy Fallout 3 a lot. I also played all the expansions. Um, they were fun. It was a fun game. I really enjoyed the world. Fallout New Vegas is also very good. One of the best Fallout still. But Fallout 4 kind of fell flat for me.
Okay.
Um, I it. The trailer was really good. It gave me that sense of, oh, there's, it's a new story, new area. Of course, dog.
Dog. Yeah.
Dog meat. I mean, of course. But I kind of got bored at some point. I was kind of bored from the start. I never finished Fallout 4. So I did a lot of stuff, but you know, it didn't really have that much impact. I think maybe I was just Fallout tired. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this trailer really, really spoke to me because it was a different, you actually had a backstory from, oh, this is where you're from. and your kid gets kidnapped, and you are going to search years later after the bombs dropped.
Yeah, it was definitely, of course, because we already knew what Fallout was by this point, and we've played Fallout 3, so they had to present it a little different this time. And they did a really good job with their media.
Yeah. But ultimately, the gameplay kind of, at some point, I was just, I don't know. I just kind of got bored.
I get that.
I know that you, Benjiro, didn't really like the base building stuff.
No, that's also a problem I have with probably Starfield. Like I suck at building.
Right.
And I'm kind of okay with slight building, but if you have to tower defense something, I'm out.
Yeah.
It's not something I enjoy. I get stressed. I hate it.
Yeah.
And that's also when I heard there were like tower defense sections in Fallout 4, I immediately I bought this game on release, and when I heard other people like you have to do tower defense stuff, I'm like, okay, I'm out.
Yep.
This is not when I'm gonna play the game anymore.
I got the collector's edition with the arm thing, the massive
Pip Boy.
The Pip Boy, where you could put your phone in.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice, but I don't know. I really loved this trailer though at the time, but I wasn't expecting much. I never expect much from games, like I said before, but this was sold as something bigger than it actually was for me.
The way the camera pans behind dog meat really makes me just want to play the dog. That would be fantastic to just play a Fallout game where you're just the dog.
It must be a mod for that by this point.
Oh, that should be. Yeah.
I mean, I also remember the Bethesda presentation where they announced the release date in the same year.
Yeah.
Like the very next October. I remember like that whole because I actually rewatched that presentation. And that was really a hype thing too. I remember everybody, especially because they showed off also the base building and the weapon modifications in that. And I remember everybody being hyped after that, like really hyped, including me.
Yeah.
It's actually funny because I'm planning on replaying Fallout 4.
Yeah.
I just installed it, and I yesterday actually
I've seen your tweet.
I was checking out a few mods, just quality of life stuff. Yeah. And I kind of want to retry the game.
Right.
Because, when I first played it, I also got stuck into the base building a lot, which kind of took away time from the main campaign for me.
Right.
And so I never got really far in the game. So.
Is it wise to play a Bethesda game right before Starfield's coming out?
That's a good question.
Don't you feel like you might burn out on this type of content?
No, I don't think so, because it's a totally different experience.
He said while his voice was waning.
Yeah, no, because it is definitely a different experience.
I agree.
You were talking about the base building, for example. And in Starfield, it's the only thing you build is sections, right?
Yeah.
You build habitat sections, and then you can just decorate the insides a little bit. But it's not like you have to. There's no tower defense, or you have to like make generators and all that stuff.
True. I hope so.
So it's just you build your habitat, what you need and what you can with the resources that you have, and bam, there it is.
Yeah, and with those habitats, you can send out people to do resource gathering, from what I understood.
Yeah, so exactly. It's gonna be. It's not as manage heavy as Fallout 4.
Very loud car.
Oh, I didn't even hear it. So yeah, no, I think Starfield is gonna be a different story. Like in terms of those elements of the game.
For next year, what I think would be a fun experience, it could be an old game, just a game we all have that we would go through again. And just talk about that on a weekly basis, what we experienced with that game. That would be kind of an interesting thing.
Which game?
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
When we get there.
True.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
But it might be interesting.
Yeah. So yeah. I did also finish Fallout 3, and I didn't finish Fallout 4, so that says something as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not the only one. I know quite a lot of people that had that same experience because they got bored. The stories weren't that interesting. Like I said, especially after Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas was really good story-wise and was very strong, and Fallout 4 just wasn't.
Yeah.
There's also a reason for that, probably because Obsidian is just very good at what they do. So yeah. I mean, Fallout New Vegas is of course from Obsidian, so
Yeah.
that's why I really like
The Outer Worlds.
The Outer Worlds. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to trying Avowed. I'm really
Same.
wondering what that's gonna be.
Same. Yeah. Well, it's gonna be Skyrim, but much like
it's gonna be Outer Worlds Skyrim version, basically.
Yeah.
It's really funny because the trailer is really action-packed, right? It's really focusing on the combat, but it's still Obsidian, so there's still a lot to show for that game in terms of storytelling and characters and everything.
Yeah. So I think Fallout 4 just wasn't that interesting for me at some points. Yeah, the one story that really stood out to me was the one with the ship stuck in the building with the sky ship.
I don't think I remember that. I don't think I got to that one.
Oh wow. No, I did get that one. That was like in the trailer. There's this old pirate ship, I think.
Oh, okay.
Pirate ship, but it's stuck in the building, and someone wants to launch it.
Oh, right.
And it goes flying, and that's pretty funny. I have to admit that. But the rest of the story is just
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna cut one game out. It's just gonna be an honorable mention. Shin Megami Tensei 5. I just didn't really like the game. The trailer made it feel like it's gonna be a Persona game. It just wasn't. It was very, very, very much Shin Megami Tensei. It's difficult, which I'm okay with, but it was missing like the social aspect. It was missing the human element. You're basically going through a desolate world, which apparently you guys are okay with, and you're just fighting demons in something that's really, really, really difficult. Also, this is not a fantastic trailer because it basically just shows a splash screen. But the one I am going to talk about, and that's going to be my final game, is the one that got Ubisoft in a lot of hot water. Because they kept because they showed a game that back in 2012 that looked fantastic, and this was on the cusp of the PS4. Like the PS4 was about to launch. This was one of the first times we actually got to see a game that would launch on PS4 and how that would look. So what they basically did, they showed us Watch Dogs, and Watch Dogs was going to be very much like a GTA game. It's open world. You have a sprawling city. Lots and lots of stuff goes around, but you can hack that city. That city runs on a closed circuit network, and everything runs on that network. So you could hijack cars. You could take over cameras. You could do whatever you wanted. And this trailer looked phenomenal. There was lighting effects in there. There are shadows that are actually moving. That if you look at it now, we all know it's baked shadows, but it looks like freaking ray tracing. The way the city looks, it's alive and sprawling. And what we actually got was a watered down version of this. And not just a little watered down, it was definitely watered down. And if you would go into the PC version, if you would go into the settings, you could actually activate these settings, but they weren't in the game. So if you would change the config file, you could actually make it look like this. It would run it's unstable, but you could make it look like this. So
also, a big part of it was everything felt alive. The people felt alive. They all did different things, and that wasn't really the case with the first game when it came out.
No, it's just everything that looks and feels like this. It just wasn't there. Like you see a lot of characters in the background. The characters, maybe like 10% of these characters were actually there. Like it wasn't this packed.
No.
the same with the smoke effects. It wasn't there. Most of it just wasn't there.
Yeah.
So when I put this game in my PlayStation, first of all, the first game is kind of boring. The protagonist, I don't think Aiden is very likable as a protagonist. He's very grumpy, and I know he's supposed to be, but he's not a likable character. Also, he's the reason his niece got killed, and he's handling it in a really, really bad way. And the ending, he's trying to kind of justify what happens, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
So yeah, not a very likable protagonist. The game definitely didn't look like this. The world was fairly boring. The way you could hack stuff was fairly boring, and just they showed something here that had that felt like you had a lot of potential. Like there was a lot going on, and you could use just pretty much anything in this world, and that was just not the case. Cops would stop chasing you if you crossed the bridge. They would just even if there's like a bridge right next to it, and they only have to drive like 20 meters. No, it wasn't. They never patched that up.
Oh wow,
that was just part of the AI. Okay. If you would open a bridge and you would close it straight away, they would just stop looking for you.
Yeah,
because because AI registered the bridge is open, but they didn't register that the bridge was closed again. So you could just literally toggle it, and they wouldn't follow you anymore. It was just absolutely dumb.
That was dumb, yeah.
So yeah, I bought this game. I did finish it, but I don't think I enjoyed the last 10 hours of it. So yeah, That's what we saw here, a lot of potential, and it just wasn't there. And also, unlike No Man's Sky, it never got to that point.
Yeah, it was also the start of the Ubisoft downgrade series of games.
Oh yeah,
they would do it a lot more after this. With Ghost Recon, I think, and some other games.
Yeah,
where there was such significant downgrades from their initial presentations or trailers.
Yeah. So these were basically target demos, but they couldn't quite achieve that.
Yeah.
And that was a shame. It's the same thing that happened with The Division. I really loved this game, though. I really liked Watch Dogs 1. But I also liked The Division, even though it was also sort of downgraded. Less so.
The graphics side of Division did really
but the Division at least had it had a better gameplay loop.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah, I like I said, I did finish this game. One of the characters I did really like, but Aiden, he wasn't the right protagonist to me as well. I kind of get his dark and brooding stuff, but
I know, but you can be dark and brooding, or you can be a dick. And Aiden was just a dick.
I know.
So
I know.
Oh man, this car crash here! This was such an infamous scene.
Yeah. And
and this whole fight with the using the doors as cover and stuff, like all those things that just wouldn't make it into the game. I think at the end, it was all scripted
into the game. Indeed.
Yeah. Sad.
But that's a shame.
Really, look at this! What is it? The depth of field effects and all that
it looks
stuff.
so much better.
The way the rain actually hits the ground,
cars,
the cars. It's it looks fantastic.
Yeah, this was definitely the year of where the next gen graphics.
Yeah, they were over-promising, and they didn't really know what the PlayStation 4 was going to be. So I think they just over-promised.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't have done that, to be honest. That really hurt their reputation at the time.
Yeah, but even if it's not that they just overpromised, because they didn't deliver this on the PC version either, and they did this. This was running on a PC.
Yeah. But they had to, pair everything to the PlayStation 4. So that was definitely an issue. Like exploding. I've never encountered an exploding
car.
Gas station. No.
Gas station. Wow. Exploding gas station in the game.
No, they don't explode.
Like yeah. I mean, I did see exploding gas stations in some part in GTA, for instance, but not like that as we just as it was shown in this trailer.
No, I think technically GTA 5 is still a more impressive game than this was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Especially for the time it came out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, I did enjoy the first game. The second game I enjoyed a lot more. But this was definitely overpromised.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a problem with the way the second game worked. I did, but I think this one just burned the bridges for me. Like this killed Watch Dogs for me.
Yeah.
But that's it for me. I think we have one more from Metzman, which is surprising because I was expecting it to be a different game.
I have a few other games, but I'm just gonna pick one just to.
I was expecting Colonial Marines to be on here.
I didn't play it myself.
Oh, that's fair.
So that was kind of the thing.
And
that was definitely one
that was going to be bad, right?
What? Sorry.
We already knew that Alien Colonials were Alien.
Yeah, but it was also an
Marines were gonna be bad,
overpromising
right?
trailer.
No,
The trailer
it
looked
was-
way better than the actual game.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I was going to pick I could pick Brothers in Arms, but I actually want to talk about Battlefield
Oh,
as
Battlefield.
my final. Yeah, because
I get that. Yeah.
because Brothers in Arms it's very short. Also, like different impressions. Thought it was open world.
Right.
Going into a town from different directions, all
Yeah.
that stuff. But it was just levels. So that was my complaint for Borderland
Brothers in Arms,
Brothers in Arms. Battlefield. I was really not only disappointed, but also a little bit sad.
Yeah.
Because this game's trailer did so many things right for me. In that it was going to be a Battlefield that was going to focus on the fun of Battlefield.
Yeah.
Not the serious, we're trying to be realistic stuff. But hey, we're Battlefield. We know what we do. We know the stunts from the community that have been done. And we're going to release a new Battlefield game that's going to be focused on that. We're going to up the player count by a lot. We're just going to let loose and have fun with it. We're going to have storms in there. Just be a little bit silly and be aware of what it is. That was what these trailers promised. And then the game came out, and it was like I had a pretty beefy PC when it came out, but it just ran like crap.
Yeah.
And not being able to play a game fluidly, especially if you're expecting, it's the what's it called? The engine.
Frostbite.
Frostbite engine, right? Frostbite has such a good track record of being super fluid, and basically every game, every Battlefield game they released before this one, they run like dream. Like if you boot up Battlefield 1, for example, it runs really well.
Yeah.
But this game just didn't. It was so bad on my PC. Thankfully, what I did is I got the tryout version, so you can play like 8 hours. I just wanted to do that because I was like afraid that this game was going to run shit.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be true. So, but yeah, there were loads of more problems with this game. I believe that were. Those were like more pointed out by the community itself.
Yeah. The progression in the game was really bad. Yeah.
So because I never got too deep into it, but I was just really disappointed that this game it felt too large scale. That's always one of the big problems with having a lot of players is that you feel like an ant, right?
Yeah.
You don't feel like you have any impact on the battle that's going on. You're just this soldier that respawns, try to get to an objective to take it over, and you die and repeat. And you don't feel like you have any impact. And with them increasing the player count even more in this game, you just felt like nothing, like insignificant. So it kind of like that was also one of the things that threw me off.
Right.
But yeah, I was kind of disappointing because this was going to be the Battlefield game that I was gonna invest time in. I wanted to go back to that.
Right.
And the trailer promised that. They promised the new Battlefield to be just a fun game. And I was just sad about that. So
No, I get that. I get that.
Yeah,
I
I
do
mean,
get
with
that.
grapple hooks and stuff, you know,
Mhm.
it was there was so much to look forward to, and
Yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was sad.
I do know. I kept sort of abreast of what's happening with the community, and I think they really like it now. But I'm not sure.
Yeah. I
They
heard that
fixed a lot of
too.
stuff.
Yeah, I heard they
Yeah.
fixed a lot of stuff. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm
I do
still
have
sort of
a
interested.
I do have a more insane PC now, so I might, you know, I still
Mhm.
have some time left on the clock,
Yeah.
so I could jump into it to see what it's like
Mhm.
now.
I
I
could
think you
join
can
you
pick it up
because
for like $5 nowadays. It's
Yeah,
really
I think
cheap.
it's cheap as
probably,
well.
yeah.
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 So I
I'll
could
have to
just
check
try to
the
revisit it
thing.
now. Maybe they have redeemed it a little bit for me as a personal
Mhm.
experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, performance is something that is really important to me.
Yeah.
If I cannot run it with like a good setup, then
Mhm.
that's just it hampers the experience so much.
Yeah.
Because you want to focus on the gameplay and not how well it runs.
No.
So yeah,
Mhm. And
so that was it.
there's just so much fun about driving a quad into a chopper with
Yeah, with
C4
C4
attached to the
planted.
buggy.
Yeah.
Yep. That's just so much fun.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
that's
yeah.
the thing, right? That's what Battlefield is known for, and
Mhm.
they looked like they embraced that style,
Yeah.
the fun, you know, the wingsuits, you know, all kinds
Yeah.
of crazy stuff,
Mhm.
just to make to have more creative and cool moments, you know,
Yeah.
the battlefield moments as they call them.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, it was kind of sad.
Mhm.
Like I was like,
Definitely
God
sad.
damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I don't know if they have redeemed themselves yet. I should try it out
Yeah, it's
when I can.
definitely yeah. I had definitely heard some sounds that got better, but
Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Cool.
Isn't it
it's
on
a
Game
shame.
Pass by now because of the EA Game Pass?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
probably.
good point.
They mixed them, huh? The
Yeah.
EA early was it the EA Access thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
EA
They added
Access
the EA
and
Play stuff. Also to
Yeah,
the PlayStation. No, that's just Ubisoft Plus. Or just Ubisoft
it's on here.
stuff.
It's on here.
Right.
yeah.
Awesome. So we should. I definitely want to try it.
I'll
Also,
install it
yeah,
later. Well, we can take a look at it.
can
Yeah.
also like shortly mention I got one more game on the list. I'm just gonna
That's
shortly
fine.
mention it.
Just
It's
go.
Far Cry.
Yeah. Mhm.
Also for the reasons, you know, open world looking game. Wasn't open
Mhm.
world, but the most disappointing thing is that the whole
Wait.
tropical
What?
setting with like
Oh, the first Far Cry.
yeah, the
Yeah.
very first Far Cry. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Like. Oop.
So you look at this, right? You see like this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an open world, but it
Yeah.
was never an open world. It's like it's a closed off setting with like a linear A to B route that you have to go through.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then, of course, the bigger disappointment for me is that the whole tropical setting and being a little bit free in what to do and where to go,
Mhm.
that changed into a monster game, a monster FPS game, where
Right. Yeah.
where like the whole environment changed to enclosements and labs
Mhm.
and stuff,
Yeah.
and
That's true.
the whole playful physics driven sandbox style gameplay just turned into a monster shooter.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that is like more than half of the game. So
Mhm.
that was a really big disappointment. So
Yeah.
that's my little last side note on another game
Right.
that didn't meet up with its initial impressions.
I still
Mhm.
hate that they removed the spreading fire mechanic after Far Cry 2.
Yeah, that's a funny
Oh,
thing.
right.
That Far Cry
Yeah.
2 is technically a better game than some of the sequels
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
came after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a lot of aspects like gun jamming and addressing wounds and stuff.
Mhm.
A lot of
True.
those details went just
Yeah.
got lost.
Yep, they got lost
Yeah,
when they did part 3, and part 3 is
yeah,
basically the staple thing now.
yeah.
It's the
That's the
blueprint they
Yeah.
use.
templates they use
Yeah,
for a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I did like Far Cry 5.
no,
Um, I
I
played
think
it quite a
yeah.
bit. I haven't finished it yet. I was playing with someone else, but it kind of fell by the wayside. But I do kind of like Far Cry 5.
but 5 was
So
fun. I played the
yeah.
main game of 5 and I actually finished it.
Mhm.
I enjoyed 5 a lot. I didn't really enjoy
Yeah.
4, and I
Mhm.
didn't even try 6 yet.
What's the
Okay.
funny thing about Fortnite, by the way, is that I got invited by I think PC Gamer magazine
Mhm.
or Yeah, I was invited to go to the launch event for it. It was somewhere
Oh,
in Netherlands,
right.
which is really fun. Me and my cousin, I got my cousin over with me, and it was really fun to do that. But the PCs they had to run the
Oh
game were
boy.
really bad. They were not up to like standards for this game. Of course, this is this was at the time a big graphics
Yeah.
thing. So we were over there, and we had to wait for the games to install because I didn't pre-install it yet. So we were like there for hours, and we like played for like 20 minutes or something. It was awful. It was just, but yeah, I was there for the official launch event. So that was kind of cool to be there with
Yeah.
journalists and stuff. But yeah, it was. It felt really like awkward to. Yeah, guys, the game doesn't run as it should, and it was really weird.
Yeah. No,
But
I get
yeah,
it. I get it. Yeah.
yeah. Actually, I
Mechanics
recently
still on that one.
recently replayed the original Far Cry a bit, and but yeah, I got to the monster part again. I was like, well,
Eh,
that was it. That was Far Cry.
That was
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, but
All right.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's. I think we can revisit this at some point. Maybe. I, I can think of a few more. Like I said, Aliens, Colonial Marines. Cuphead is one for me. I was expecting less of a boss gauntlet and more of
Oh, right.
a
Right.
more platforming action. And
More an
there are
adventure style thing.
yeah, like I really like the art style, and the first trailers really made me think that there was going to be more platforming there, like traditional levels, instead of it just being a boss gauntlet that you were going through. So that's another, and there are probably like 20 more. So we might revisit this in a future episode.
Okay. Well, I don't have a much of like I have trouble finding games for this week, so I might not have much to add on that front.
We're
I was
gonna
actually,
have
I was actually
summer
thinking
stuff.
because I was busy. I had a lot of trouble finding actually,
Mm-hmm.
because
Okay, we
I
might
think I
not.
got really cautious
Right.
with trailers after especially remember the Killzone 2 trailer.
Oh yeah.
That was that was one of the first really big. It's CGI
Yeah,
and it's not
Yeah.
in-game things.
Someone messed up with that one.
Yeah.
yeah, and
So
it
I
wasn't
think I
Guerrilla.
got really
Guerrilla was
cautious.
pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, they were pissed.
They were pissed. They were
Yeah.
not supposed to show that because it was just a vertical
Yeah.
slice. That's
Yeah,
it.
it was a in-house presentation for
Yeah.
Sony themselves. So we wanted to see if we can achieve this, but it wasn't meant for E3.
Not at all.
So marketing people messed up.
They just put it there like, we want to show something and we have this. And we're going to show this. And did.
But then later they did redeem themselves with making it look even slightly better than the original trailer.
True. Yeah.
They did.
So,
okay.
Yes.
So that's it for this. We might not revisit. Apparently it's really hard. That's okay.
It's really I was really thinking about it.
Hard,
It was hard to find some. I was really like going all night thinking about what trailers, and then versus the game itself. But if you have a bunch of them, then you can go
maybe I'm
them.
just getting more.
Or maybe I'm just not thinking hard enough. Maybe,
just
maybe
a few of them just came to me during this this podcast.
Okay.
So
we'll
maybe
write them down and we'll talk about them.
We'll see if we come up with some more.
Yeah.
And if we don't, then there are plenty of other topics. Okay, so that will probably do for this week. We still we said it was probably going to be a short podcast. We're still over 2 hours.
I told
it's
you.
not a short podcast. Okay, so let's start with Vash. Where can people find you?
Well, on Twitter at the moment still. We can't start a Threads account because we're in Europe, and we have Meta has issues with our laws, so that's not going to happen. But I'm still on Twitter. I'm not very active, so but yeah, it's still PVBAIKUN.
Yes,
that's PV Bacon. Yes.
we will probably get threats in a few weeks, though. They need to work out the kinks, and
Hopefully,
they're probably gonna do that. But we're too much of a
everyone from
market.
threads. So yeah.
I hope they get a desktop or browser thing for that.
Yeah, for now it's just app only. It's kind of
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
Yep.
Okay, thank you for your contributions today and for being here, Vash. Metzman, where can
No
they find
problem.
you?
Where they can find me? They can find me on the Twitters. It's right below my screen thingy. It's at the Metzman, TheMetzman. I live on Twitter, so you can find me there. I did make some other social media things, but I'm not gonna, promote them until it's necessary. Until Twitter is actually dying, because we had a few failures from Elon, but it's still up there. It's still up. We survived. We survived the 600 and 800 post limit thing.
That was so stupid.
That was really annoying. But we're back up again. So
Also, the need to log in to see tweets.
Yeah, that's gone now too.
They reversed that. Quite fast. So yeah, it was stupid.
Yeah.
Again,
we'll have to see how bad Elon starts fumbling with Twitter. But yeah, so for now, Twitter is still the thing. If I move somewhere else, you will definitely see an announcement on my Twitter as well. So if it's still working.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a big question. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Okay, thank you. And you will be able to find me on Twitter at Pixels Sprites. You can also find this podcast on Twitch at twitch.tv/Pixels and Sprites. And if you missed any of our previous podcasts, or you won't be able to join us live and you want to watch a video version, you can find us on YouTube at Pixels and Sprites Live. We also are available on Spotify. On Spotify, Vash is making a very nice audio podcast there, and you can find us on Pixels and Sprites there as well.
I mean, it's not perfect, but we're just amateurs.
It's good enough. It's definitely good enough. It's audible,
okay,
while not being unaudible. So
I know.
So thanks everybody for joining us today. Thanks everybody for listening in. We have 2 more episodes this season, and then we're going for a summer break, and we'll be back in September. So if you guys are not able to join us for the last 2 episodes, then hope to see you guys next year.
Yeah, you can find them still.
And you can find them. So that's it for today. I hope everybody's going to have a fantastic week. Keep gaming, have fun, enjoy the weather, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.